We begin on an island of abortion access. In the Northwest, Montana will soon be surrounded by states with trigger laws. Roe is gone, and now some women looking to Montana for an abortion may have to look somewhere else. New tonight, the state's president of Planned Parenthood doubled down, making clear abortion is available, but not in all forms to all people, saying in part, quote, no matter what, Planned Parenthood of Montana will do whatever we can to protect patients, providers, and health center staff. Access to abortion in Montana remains constitutionally protected and is available. Newsy national correspondent Maritza Giorgio is in Montana tonight, where the legal waters are getting muddy.
1 week later, in the Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade continues to raise questions as states and organizations navigate legal gray areas, especially when it comes to patients crossing state lines for treatment.
The law is unclear in a way that I think it's going to lead to people making risk assessments so that they're not comfortable treating people from other states because they're scared of the risk.
A tweet with a leaked email from the president of Planned Parenthood of Montana went viral Thursday. The president, Martha Fuller, sent it to staff saying they will no longer provide medication abortion services to patients from South Dakota and other states with total bans currently in effect. The email says the risks around cross-state services are unclear and there's potential for both civil and criminal action.
I think Planned Parenthood of Montana, like all of our affiliates across the country, are not making decisions about health services lightly. Just like other abortion providers, Planned Parenthood providers are being forced to make very difficult operational decisions due to the rapidly shifting landscape of access in many states.
The Guttmacher Institute says medication abortions account for more than half of all U.S. abortions as of 2020. Medication abortions became legal in 2000 when the FDA approved a two-drug combination, sometimes called the abortion pill, taken within 1 or 2 days of each other. Currently, it's approved for pregnancies at 10 weeks or less. The Planned Parenthood of Montana email says they will now ask all medication abortion patients to provide proof of residency, but reiterates they will still offer surgical abortions to patients from those states.
Surgical abortion takes less than 5 minutes for most procedures, and it all happens in one place. Medication abortion takes place over a period of time, so all of the process of a medication abortion can take place in different locations. And so I think one of the questions a lot of people are asking is which law is going to apply in the different stages of that abortion.
The legal conflicts were predicted earlier this year before the ruling was announced. David Cohen was one of 3 law scholars who authored an article that looked at this very issue, saying, quote, the interjurisdictional abortion wars are coming, and this article is the first to provide the roadmap for what lies ahead. In his concurring opinion, Justice Brett Kavanaugh said in his view, a state could not ban a resident from traveling to another state to get an abortion. But Justices Breyer, Sotomayor, and Kagan wrote in their dissent that interstate restrictions will soon be in the offing and that the ruling invites a host of questions about interstate conflicts. In her email, the Planned Parenthood of Montana president says this wasn't a decision they entered into lightly.
Without a national right to abortion, everyone's going to be assessing their own level of risk, and they are going to come down to different conclusions.
And Cohen predicts more providers will follow suit until there's clarity.
Maritza joins us tonight from Montana. So, Maritza, what is their exact concern here? Is it trying to protect the women, or is it trying to protect the state and Planned Parenthood?
All of the above, Chance, really. There's just so much uncertainty in the laws and how they will be interpreted that some organizations are not willing to take the risk, both for themselves but also for the patients here. They don't know if they're going to see criminal prosecution for some of these patients. There's also a concern about health and safety. You know, with this medication, you take that second pill 1 to 2 days after the first. It's very, very rare to have a complication, but if there were a complication and that patient was back in a state where they might not be able to access services, that could be a problem. Now, one legal expert I talked to said that patient does not have any requirement to tell a doctor, so let's say they did take that second pill, to tell a doctor they took those pills. They would just go in and say, I was pregnant and I'm having these complications, please help me.
Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to think of an analog here, because if a woman comes from out of state, let's say, and needs oxycodone, they don't deny her care just because she might go back to her original state and break the law by abusing it or selling it. Why would this be any different medically?
Well, I think it's just that it's so unclear. Every state's going to have a different law. We're already seeing that. You know, Montana is an island here. All of these surrounding states expected to enact trigger laws. South Dakota already has. So it just changes. It's a jurisdictional problem. It just changes from state to state, and it's not really clear how these states are going to enforce this new law.
By the way, Maritza, you talked about distance. Is telehealth a workaround? Because it could be state to state. It could also be international.
Yeah, well, that's fuzzy, too. Right now, telehealth in these states where they've had trigger laws go into effect right away, that is not legal anymore. But that legal expert I spoke to said that patients are going to pharmacies online in India, going through doctors in Europe to get access to this medication abortion. That is something that does not fall under the jurisdiction of the U.S. And we're also hearing about nonprofits who are actually setting up mobile clinics on state lines so patients could easily just cross over, get the services they need, and go back. But again, very, very fuzzy as to how that could be enforced down the road.
Wow. Even in states that have some level of openness, it sounds like every door you open, a question mark behind it. Maritza Giorgio, keep us posted.